welcome to the Beyond Sugar Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Dame, holistic nutrition coach and speaker. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here on the Beyond Sugar Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Dame, and I'm really excited for today's episode. This is going to be such an important conversation, especially as we're getting closer to the end of the year, the start of a new year, and really helping you understand how and what type of support is actually going to be the most beneficial to be successful on your journey to creating a new healthy relationship with sugar. We're going to really dive deep into this today. And before we do, as per usual, I always love sharing some updates, some inspiration, some exciting things with all of you at the start of these episodes. And today is a really, really special one because there's something very exciting happening this week, actually just for the next couple days until December 15th. I host a monthly membership community called the Sugar Freedom Collective. And normally this community is not available to the public. It's something that I host for clients who have been through one of my intensive 8 or 10 week programs so we can continue supporting each other long into the future. And in thinking of ways to really support my people, all of you women, this time of year, I really felt called to do something a little special, a little out of the ordinary. And what I've actually done is open up registration for this community until December 15th to those of you who are on the wait list. So this is not a public, registration. This is just a VIP invitation for those who have requested interest or shown interest in joining and working with me, getting support with me, and being in an incredibly safe and supportive community as they work towards healing their deep relationship with themselves and with food. So the Sugar Freedom Collective is officially open until December 15th through the waitlist. So how that works is if you want to learn more, you're curious about what's included in the community, how it works, the structure, come and get on the waitlist. And as soon as you register for the waitlist, you're going to get an email from me with a link to the registration page that has all the details and information and exciting offers, because I'm also offering a huge client-only discount to all of you who are on the waitlist and almost $2,000 worth of juicy bonuses for joining and being a part of this community. So I put together something really special here, and I'm so excited to invite you through the waitlist. So come and do that. You can find the link to get your name on the waitlist, to receive that email with the special invite link. You can find that below in the show notes. And if you happen to be listening to this episode after December 15th, no worries. Still come and get your name on the waitlist, and you will be the first to know when I open registration again for this community or for one of my more intensive programs in 2023. So come and stay connected with me. If you really are loving everything that I'm sharing and the conversations that we're having on this podcast, and you really connect or feel this pull towards the way that I'm approaching healing our relationship with sugar, and you want an opportunity to work with me directly, this is your chance. Okay. The Sugar Freedom Collective, we're going to actually be talking about community later in this episode, but this community that I've created that has been existing for years is really a deeply safe space to finally feel lifted up and guided in the right way on your inner healing journey with yourself and with food. And if you haven't already gathered this, maybe you're new to the podcast, the work that I do and the coaching, the way that I coach is really focused on the deep inner root healing that needs to be done if we ever want to have a healthy relationship with sugar. So this is so far beyond just what to eat and detoxing from sugar. We have those resources in the community, of course, but the community is really focused on deep, vulnerable, authentic support as we heal our biggest wounds that are ultimately at the root of what's driving us to binge on sugar every night. So there you have it. Really, really excited. And actually, I want to share with all of you, for some who are curious, a little bit more about what they can expect. I want to share with you some comments that have actually showed up in our group over the years from past members. And I think this really will kind of hit home some of what we're doing in this community and the impact of being in the right community and how that drastically affects your ability to be successful or not as you recreate a new relationship with sugar. So Beth says, I just wanted to thank everyone for their open and honest participation in both our meetings and here in the group. It was a joy and so helpful to be a part of Danny's community. I lost 5 pounds and decreased my glucose blood levels by 17 points in just a few weeks. I no longer have sugar cravings and can stop after enjoying even one cookie or small piece of chocolate. I continue to stay under 24 grams of sugar a day. So huge shout out and celebration to Beth. Stella shares so many insights about myself, accepting more what the universe is bringing to me, and I'm less resistant. So grateful for the things that are clearing and coming in focus for me. Thanks, Danny, for this marvelous opportunity. And Sarah says, thank you to everyone so much for sharing your stories in our community. I struggle, and your words explaining how life could look like is so helpful. It helps me put all the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm feeling so good lately and so happy with my choice to go sugar-free. Thank you to everyone in the community. So there's some powerful things happening here when we come together as women in the right type of community to be guided and walk this very complicated path together. Because let's face it, it's overwhelming, it's scary, it's filled with ups and downs, failures, successes, and learning how to change the way we see our journey and change the way that we approach our relationship with ourselves is a huge focus of this community. So that's enough about that. I want to get into today's episode. So just a final reminder, if you want to come and learn and get a exclusive invite to join the Sugar Freedom Collective community before December 15th, come and get your name right now on the wait list. And like I said, you will receive an email in your inbox right away with the exclusive link to come and find out more about the community and actually register to join us before I close down the doors and registration on December 15th. So hopefully we'll see you there. I would love to support you at such a deeper level, especially as we're shifting into ending the year on a high note. You don't have to end the year like maybe you did last year, right? This could be different this year. And this is your opportunity to come and do that with us in community and be held in this safe space with other women who are on this journey with you. Okay, so today we're talking about, and this ties very much into, the Sugar Freedom Collective community, but beyond that, you might be in this place where you understand that you have some work to do with your relationship with sugar, right? And you want support, but you have no idea how to get the right support. So what do? What do most people do? You hit Google, right? You start Googling around and you very quickly become overwhelmed. There's so many options in terms of getting support to heal your relationship with sugar. There's therapists, there's counselors, there's coaches, there's various programs, there's videos, there's a detox challenge, there's some free Facebook groups, podcasts like this one. Maybe you're even considering weight loss surgery or pills, right? The list is endless when it comes to actually getting back into health and into a healthy relationship with food. And on one hand, this is really amazing that there is so much support out there for you. And there are so many people out there working in this space to help women reshape their relationship with sugar specifically. And on the other hand, it can very quickly feel impossible to know what is the best route for you. What do you need to be successful on your journey? Now, almost every woman that I've worked with, hundreds of women that I've worked with over the years, have tried everything, right? This is what they come to me and say, I've tried everything and I'm burnt out and I've been burned by the wrong type of support. And these women, maybe you can relate, have been left completely deflated and really deeply believing that, well, there must just be something wrong with me. I've tried all these things. I did Weight Watchers. I joined all the Facebook groups. I did a 30-day sugar detox. I've tried all the things. There must be something wrong with me. And I want you to hear me right now. If you have this belief, if you're thinking this about yourself, please hear me. Listen up. This is not true. There is nothing wrong with you. The only thing that is missing is that you have not found the right type of support for you. In a world where there are endless options, especially in healing our relationship with food, you just haven't found the person, the community, the guidance, the exact techniques that you need to be successful for yourself. And that's why I'm recording this episode today, because I want to help you figure out what that is. What is the right type of support for you? Because you are unique. Your journey to sugar freedom is unique. And I see a lot of coaches or experts or people out there creating this one size fits all kind of mentality around sugar. Here's the things that everybody needs to do to get off sugar. And I don't buy that for 1 second, because I know that you're unique. Your life is unique. Your needs are unique. Your desires, your cravings, your root causes of why you're addicted to sugar in the first place is unique. And you must start to really, really pay attention to getting the unique support that you need. So how do you do that? Right? How do you go about actually understanding your unique needs and finding the right person or community or program to help you really get what you need? So first things first, this is really important. Before I share some important questions that I want you to go through, the first thing that you need to do, very first thing you need to do, is to fully acknowledge that you cannot do this alone. And this kind of sounds like contradictory to a lot of what I share here on the podcast. And what I fully believe is that each and every one of you listening to this, and every woman and human on the planet, is incredibly capable of doing anything they put their mind to. But here's the thing. When our mind is the thing that is keeping us back from succeeding, we can't do it alone. We're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to go through really challenging changes, whether it's a new job, a divorce, or healing your relationship with sugar. We are not meant as humans to do this alone. You need support. That's why you're listening to this podcast. There's a reason that you are listening to me right now and that you are listening to this episode. If you're still listening, I know that you understand that you need support. You can't do this alone. We can't. And in this acceptance and acknowledge of yourself that I cannot do this alone, I need support, and that is okay. You know, this piece is often the hardest piece for women. It is accepting that they can't do something alone. And the stories, I want you to be very careful about the stories that come up for you about that. What are you making that mean about yourself? Because most women will immediately go into, well, that means I'm a failure, or I'm lazy, or I'm useless, or I'm worthless because I can't do it alone. So please do not go down that road. That is not what's happening here. The most successful people on the planet acknowledge that they can't do something alone, and they get the help they need. Think of any business, any multi-billion-dollar business started with an entrepreneur or someone who sought out a mentor or support from a team to build what they were creating. We are not humans built to do things on our own. And this is no different when it comes to really getting through our blocks, right? You wouldn't expect an alcoholic to heal alone, or someone who has PTSD or severe depression, or, you know, has very big traumas to deal through. You wouldn't expect them to just go and meditate and deal with it on their own. We need support. Okay. And in this first step, you also need to be willing to ask for and receive the help. Most women that I know, myself included back in the day, had a really hard time asking for help, right? There's one thing to ask for help. Like, hey, Danny, I need help. Please help me with this. And there's another thing with actually receiving the help when it's given to you. So there's two energetics going on here, and both of them need to be opened for you to ever be successful on this journey. So once you've acknowledged that, hey, I need support, right? This is the make it or break it point. Are you going to actually get over your stuff? I'm going to use the nice word there. Get over your stuff and ask for the support that you need. Or are you just going to listen to this episode and forget everything that I'm sharing with you and try to keep hitting your head against the wall doing this on your own next year? So this is your choice. There's no judgment either way. This is your journey. I truly believe that and honor that. But I really want you to feel into how you're going to be most successful here. So that's step one, is really acknowledging that you need help. Okay. And just the fact that you're listening to this, or you're still listening to this, is part of that acknowledgement. You're acknowledging to yourself right now by listening to this that you need some support. And you're trying to figure out what the best way to do that for you is. And I want you to know that it's really normal and it's very okay to be scared at this point, to be nervous, to be anxious. The old sabotaging behaviors, your ego is not wanting you to change. It's not wanting you to get help, right? This is the part of your brain that wants you to stay right where you are because that's known and that's safe. And as soon as you admit that you need support and start taking those steps to reach out to someone to get the support that you need, your ego, your subconscious mind is going to try everything in its power to pull you back. So just pay attention to that. And being scared or afraid or nervous or feeling that pit in your stomach, this is all part of it. And that to me is feedback from your body that you're going in the right direction, that you're pushing your boundaries here and you're pushing out of your comfort zone, which is the only place that change and transformation actually take place. So it's okay if you're feeling a bit nervous about getting support and that all those thoughts or old beliefs or stories are coming up for you. That's okay. Stay present with it. Stay curious and do it anyway. That's the definition of courage, right? In the face of fear, in the face of the old self-sabotaging beliefs, you're doing something anyway because you know that you need it. So I want to help you because you're unique, right? I can't tell you exactly what to do. But what I want to do here is invite you to answer a few questions for yourself so that you can self-diagnose what type of support you need. Because again, you're unique. Remember, you are unique in this process. So obviously, if you're driving, please don't do this, right? But if you are somewhere where you can pull out your journal and a pen, and maybe you need to come back to this episode because you're driving now, but you want to come and reflect on this later, please do that. Listen to this again, because I have 5 questions that are really important to help you understand your unique self and what type of unique support you're going to need to actually be successful once and for all in healing your relationship with sugar. So, first question. First and most important, what do you actually want your relationship to sugar to look like? This is a really telling question. And a lot of, all the women that come and work with me have never answered this before. So you might have never answered this either, but what do you actually want it to look like? Right? This is the opportunity for you to visualize, to dream. Like what would your ideal relationship, maybe not just with sugar, but with processed food or just food in general? We all have such a complicated, toxic relationship with food that this is an opportunity to actually get clear on what you want it to look like. What's the goal here for you? It might be 5 years down the road or next year. It doesn't matter the timeline. What is the actual dream goal here for yourself? Now, this question, depending on how you answer it, like please pause this episode and spend some time journaling about that and really allowing yourself to open up and get curious about what you want that relationship to look like. And then you can start to get a little clarity from this about what kind of support you're going to need, right? If you really deeply know and never want to have sugar again in your life and you want to just not have sugar and you don't want it to tempt you and you don't want it to be a part of your life ever again, then you're going to get clarity that maybe you need to work with an addiction group, right? Or someone very specialized in complete abstinence from sugar for the rest of your life. And if you're like most of the women that I work with, and you actually want to get to a point where you can lovingly choose to have sugar in your life in moderation without it actually controlling you or taking you down the slippery slope again, that's going to give you some clarity on maybe you need to work with a sugar addiction coach or a therapist that can actually help you heal the root reasons why you're driving towards sugar beyond the physical addiction and help you get to that place where you can choose from a place of love and control when and if you want to have sugar. Second question here, okay, that's going to give you some clarity is why haven't you been successful in giving up sugar so far? Why are you not where you want to be with your relationship with sugar right now? That question that you just answered above, this dream relationship that you want to have with sugar and with food. Why are you not there yet? This question is so powerful because it leaves clues. What we've done in the past or what's been missing for us in the past that hasn't worked, understanding that brings us one step closer to figuring out what will work. Now, if you don't know the answer to this question, this is really helpful as well. Because if you're not sure why you haven't haven't been able to create this healthy relationship with sugar, then you clearly need someone personally who's able to help you figure that out. So someone like me as a coach or a therapist or a counselor, someone that you can work with one-on-one or in a proper group coaching session that can help you really dive in and understand what was going on for you in the past so that you can change it and obviously do things differently to be successful in the future. So that's question 2, is why haven't you been successful so far in creating your dream relationship with sugar? What's really been going on for you your whole life? I mean, you can go back to childhood here because many of you maybe listening have been at this for decades, right? So why hasn't it worked? Question number 3 is, what are the real root reasons you're hooked on sugar? Now, if you are new to this podcast, this might be the first time that you're kind of understanding this. So I definitely recommend going and listening to the last couple months of episodes to get a sense of what I'm talking about here. But ultimately, beyond the physical addiction that we no doubt have to processed foods and sugar, there are very deep energetic and emotional reasons that we are hooked on sugar. There is what I call the inner work, the inner healing, our traumas, our emotional disconnection from our bodies, our belief systems. There are layers and layers and layers. And I often refer to this as the cracks in our foundation, right? And unless we actually get in there and get dirty and figure out and heal what our real root causes are that are driving us to binge on sugar, to numb out, to escape, to want to, distract ourselves. If you don't know what those are, this is a really good sign that what you need in terms of support is a coach, a therapist, or a program that is going to really focus on helping you uncover these root foundational pieces and help you heal them. Not just understanding that, okay, I don't love myself and I don't feel worthy or like I'm enough. Great. But actually helping you shift the way you see yourself and shift the way that you think and feel and honor all those parts of you. There's so much here. And this is my area of expertise and my passion because I see that this is ultimately the root of addiction. Is the deep-rooted ways that we connect with ourselves and our traumas and our upbringings and the beliefs that we have about the world and ourselves. So this is question number 3. What for you are the real root reasons you're hooked on sugar? And maybe you already know some of these, which is fantastic. So maybe you need a different type of support there. Or you have no idea what these are for you. That's a good sign that you really need to work more deeply with someone like me, a coach, a therapist, or like I said, a specific program that's going to help you unearth and uncover what these are and what's really going on for you in a way that makes sense. Okay, question number 4. How quickly do you want results? This kind of sounds like a silly question because of course you're going to sit there and go, well, I want them tomorrow. I want my relationship with sugar to be healed tomorrow. And that's just not the case for many of us. Many women that I work with, and maybe you listening, right? You might have in your head that, well, I want this and I want to heal my relationship with sugar in 30 days, but I'm not doing the things to set myself up to get that result. And let's be honest, okay? This is so important because every woman that I work with has such an unrealistic expectation around this. Okay. And a lot of programs out there or people out there that I see in this health and wellness space, in the sugar addiction space, are absolutely lying through their teeth about how quickly you're able to heal from a sugar addiction or any health ailment. And I want you to really be careful when you're looking out there for guidance, for support. And if you see anyone out there advertising that you can be free from sugar addiction in 30 days or less, right? These sorts of things are just not lasting. These things are not realistic and they perpetuate our diet mentality, which is what we are breaking here because that is not working for us. It's not working for us. So I want you to think of how long it took you to develop the state of health that you're in now, your relationship with sugar that you're in now. It's probably been decades. Okay. And I'm not saying that it's going to take decades to heal it, but I am really wanting you to understand that it's going to take some time, especially if you're just at the start of this journey. And that's okay, because in that process, you can fall in love with the journey of healing. And that's a beautiful thing to do. But please don't fool yourself into thinking that you can have all of your problems figured out in 30 days, right? And really understand that depending on how serious you want to be, if say within a year, you want to really be in this beautiful, healthy place, giving yourself a more realistic timeline of 6 months or a year, right? To really do this deep inner work that has been our traumas and our patterns since childhood, it's going to take some time to shift, right? So in this, really getting clear for yourself and getting honest with yourself about how quickly are you actually realistically going to get results and want them. Right? So here we're kind of talking about this time frame of, okay, 6 to 12 months versus 5 years. So what I see happening, and I've seen this in my own life, believe me, I cannot tell you how many free Facebook groups or DIY courses or free courses or free challenges that I signed up for online back when I first started my business and I even started my journey with health that I would dabble in. I was never fully committed. There was no guidance. It was all on me to kind of figure out how to implement it in my own life. And I was doing a lot of these free things, right? That were, kind of nice. And they kind of had some pieces like the Facebook groups or like they kind of had some of the support that I needed. But doing it this way and kind of DIYing it always took me 3 times as long to get any results. Versus when I started actually investing in myself and I actually hired a coach and I actually started doing more intensive programs that actually gave me the clarity and the action steps to take in my life every week, my results came a lot quicker. So this is your choice, right? To how quickly do you want to make this change? This is not going to happen in 30 days. I'm not promising that. Please steer clear of anybody who does promise that. But this is a difference between dabbling on your own, free Facebook groups, DIY freebies for the next 5 years, trying to figure it out on your own, or getting really serious about doing the deep inner healing and committing to this process over the next 6 months to a year. And if you're ready to commit in that way and see results quickly, then I highly recommend working more specifically with a coach, with a therapist who is trained in food addiction, which most aren't. So this is really important to say. And or guided programs and communities that actually will provide you the clarity that you need to make progress every week, as opposed to just kind of nilly-willy, flying by the seat of your pants. So this is a big one, right? Is really getting clear on how quickly do you want this change to happen in your life, right? Within reason, right? This is going to take time, but there is a big difference between it taking you 6 to 12 months versus kind of dabbling at it for the next 5 years and continuing the cycle that maybe you've been in for the last couple decades. Okay, so last but not least, the last question here for you to really spend some time thinking about and reflecting on is, what do you actually need to be successful? Not what do other people tell you need, or what does your best friend need? No. What do you need? This is where, I love the work that I do as a coach because it's all about you really owning and knowing yourself best. So this is my coaching question for you today is, what do you actually need? Knowing yourself, because no one else is going to know you as good as you do. No one. So start taking your power back right now by even asking yourself this question. What do you actually need to be successful? Now, you might not know right now in this moment, and that's okay. So I invite you to sit with this question. Ask yourself every day for the next 7 days this question and be open to journaling whatever comes out. But you'll start to get some clarity around maybe, okay, what's been these questions all combined together, right? What's been missing for me in the past is maybe what I need now. So maybe I need more accountability to actually take action and not just soak in more information, right? Maybe I need personal, unique guidance from a coach or a therapist or someone who can really talk to me one-on-one. Maybe I need more education and understanding of my body and how sugar's affecting it, and education about how to cook and how to really get back in the kitchen to make healthy foods for myself. Maybe you need a bit of hand-holding, right? Maybe you're really at the beginning stages and you're not very good at keeping yourself accountable or helping yourself, and you need a bit more hand-holding. Maybe you need like-minded women to be inspired by and to share ideas and to know that you're not alone. And maybe you need inspiration, right? Maybe there's a laundry list. This is just a few suggestions to get you started. What is it do you actually need to be successful? And when you get clear on this, plus why things haven't worked for you in the past, and all of these questions that I've already asked, you're going to really start to see a picture emerge of how committed you need to be in order for you to actually see results, and what kind of support you're gonna benefit most from. So I want to quickly recap these questions for you. Okay, number one is, what do you actually want your relationship with sugar to look like? What's your dream relationship with sugar? Number two is, why haven't you been successful so far? Number three, what are the real root reasons that you're actually hooked on sugar? Number four is, how quickly do you want to see results? And number five, what do you actually need to be successful on this journey? Now, in my experience, having worked with hundreds of women over the last few years and guiding them in this journey, there are really two key components to being successful in the long term when healing your relationship with food. I've seen this. I've been working with women over 6 years now, and I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And I've paid very close attention. And within the realm and the lens of getting the right support, this is the conversation we're having today, there are two really key components that I see set people apart. The women who have been really successful that I've either worked with or that I've heard stories from, and some of the guests we've had on this podcast that have actually been successful over the years in making a long-term lasting change, versus those who are still struggling decade after decade, year after year. The biggest difference, the two key components to really making a long-term change when it comes to support are, number one, the right type of guidance, and number two is the right community. So when I say the right guidance, I mean actually working with someone who has been where you are. Someone who actually knows the ins and outs and challenges with sugar and food. I know a lot of women who have worked with therapists or counselors, just in general, without actually having them understand anything about the complexities of our addiction to sugar and of what's really going on a societal way with food addiction and with this complicated relationship with food. And although that could be helpful, it's not going to be the same as someone who specializes in this conversation around sugar. You're also going to want to look for someone who really honors your whole being. Your whole being. That doesn't just sit down and talk about your relationship with food, that talks about your relationship with yourself. They guide you into really going inward, connecting with your body, and really getting clear on your uniqueness. Right? So again, there's so many people out there giving guidance that's kind of this one size fits all. And that's not you. That's not any of us. You are not one size. And one thing is not going to work for everybody. So making sure that whoever you're getting guidance from, whether it's me or someone else in this industry, please be sure that they really are honoring your unique journey as well. That they're not putting you down or judging you or shaming you. We don't need any more shame, ladies. This is what we're trying to shed, the guilt, the shame. We don't need someone to put that on us. Okay, we don't need someone to shame us because we had sugar this week. We need someone who's going to help us get curious about what really went on and how we can repattern and shift out of those habits. You're also going to really want to pay attention for someone who can help you dive deep into the real root causes and healing. Like I said, this is my absolute passion and purpose here on the planet, and something that I see is majorly missing in a lot of the ways that experts or therapists or online coaches or programs are run, especially when we're talking about sugar and healing our relationship with food. It is so important that you have the right guidance and someone who understands how to help you dive in and uncover the root causes, these foundational cracks, these real deep-rooted pains and emotions and traumas and belief systems and reasons why you are reaching for food to escape every day or to numb out or whatever it is that your tendency is beyond the physical. There's a lot of people out there just focusing on the physical, right? Just get off sugar and all your problems will go away. And that is so far from the truth. So please be careful, when you're looking for someone, that they can really understand you. And of course, that you connect with that person, right? So this is really important too. Don't force yourself to work with someone that you really don't like as a human being. I think this is really important. And I've done this in the past as well. I remember following business coaches or working with business coaches that I was like, well, they're doing some things that I like, but I really don't like their personality, right? Or I really don't like the way that they talk. So That's important too, right? Making sure that resonance is there and that connection is there with whoever it is that you decide is the right person to guide you. And then when it comes to the right community, this is something I get so passionate about, and exactly why I created the Sugar Freedom Collective and why I create these communities when I host my live programs, is because we heal together. I mentioned this earlier. We are not meant as humans to do any sort of healing alone. Knowing that we aren't alone and we're not crazy and there's nothing wrong with us and we're not broken and we feel part of a tribe is what actually lifts us up and keeps us going. And this is whether you're at the beginning of your journey with sugar or you've been doing this for years and you still benefit. We always still benefit from being in support community. So thinking of someone who's an alcoholic, right? You see, even if they've been alcohol-free for years, they still stay a part of the community, right? They still go to meetings. They still support other people in the community. And we actually, as humans, get a lot of our own strength from being able to help others when we've healed through something. So there's this symbiotic relationship, and it's really beautiful when you're in the right community, how we really support each other in healing together. And this is actually one of the main points of feedback that I always get from my communities and my programs. And I hear this time and time again, and it just melts my heart every time. How impactful having the right, safe, supportive community and group has been in their healing. I get this feedback all the time on our final call of my program or in written testimonials. This is something that has been a thread in the way that I create communities and the way that I support my clients to show up in a very safe, supportive environment. So whether that, is something that you've experienced before or not, I just want you to know that it's out there. And I also want you to be on the lookout for some of the problem communities. And I'm speaking from very personal experience here. And even what I see in the sugar addiction space, right? I know a lot of you maybe have joined free Facebook groups, or you've been part of maybe a program in the past that really didn't support you. Right. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And I want you to know that if you're feeling any of this in any of the communities that maybe you've been a part of or that you're currently a part of, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. And that this way of being a community is not okay. And you have full permission to leave. This is really important and something I'm very passionate about because I see time and time again, and I've seen my clients. I actually have a woman in my Break Free from Sugar program right now who came into my program after having been brutally burned and judged and shamed in the previous program that she was in. And that's not okay. So we need to be on the lookout as women that we're not doing more harm to ourselves by being in these toxic communities. So some of the things to be on the lookout for is even just how do you feel in that community? Whether it's, posting online or there's live Zoom calls, how do you feel when those calls are done? How do you feel in your body when you're on the call? Do you feel safe to open up? Do you feel scared? Do you feel triggered? Do you feel a bit uneasy? Trust your body in this. Because unfortunately, a lot of communities are actually quite superficial, especially the free ones that don't have any moderation or proper control over who's in the group and who's saying what. There can be a lot of judgment, a lot of superficial conversation, a lot of judgment, a lot of comparison. Like, look at me, I'm so amazing, and making you feel horrible for maybe not being where that person is. A lot of these communities as well don't have any face-to-face. There's no real connection. Right? There's no accountability, and they're massive. Some of these, I'm thinking mostly of a lot of these free Facebook groups, right, that are out there, that they're massive, and even group programs, right? They're massive. This is exactly why I keep my communities small, relatively small, because when face to face, right? When we are just hiding behind our keyboard in a group with thousands of women, it is so easy to hide. It's so easy to hide, and when we hide, we don't heal. So really being on the lookout for this in a community, right? Just being a part of communities and reading other people's posts without engaging, without having people see you face to face, and without being able to be pulled out and actually talked to and supported, you're not going to really make the changes that you want in this journey. Now, that's how you know if you're in the wrong community. I fully believe, trust your instinct, trust your gut, and you will know when you're in the right community. You will know, you will feel loved, you will feel safe, you will feel this sense of, wow, everyone's struggling with me and I'm not being judged. You'll feel this sense of, wow, I thought I was the only one struggling with this, but I'm not alone and I'm not crazy. You're going to notice that the right community is going to pull you out to actually help you feel seen and heard. Two of our biggest wounds as women, not feeling heard and not feeling seen. And this is almost impossible to do in a lot of the communities that I've ever been a part of, and why I'm working so diligently to shift that. Because this is how we heal. Actually knowing that our voice matters and that we get to be witnessed in our struggle is huge healing. The right community is also going to help give you the clarity you need to take action in the right direction. Okay, you don't need more information. And we've done whole episodes on that. Okay, and hopefully you understand that now. You don't need more podcasts. You need a step-by-step guide of exactly what action steps you uniquely can take to make change, right? And to start feeling different in your relationship with food and yourself. Okay, the right community is also going to support you in really connecting with your true self, with who you really are. Again, this is another really root foundational piece that I have learned over the years, that we've lost touch of who we are. All the women that come and work with me have lost their identity. They don't know who they are. They judge themselves. They feel really negative. They feel like a failure. They feel really down on themselves and they feel lost. So the right community is going to help you reconnect with yourself and take your power back. The right community is going to keep you accountable. It's going to also be monitored and led with integrity. So if there's negativity or someone breaking the rules in the community, that person is asked to leave. This is something I take very seriously in my communities because I have a zero tolerance policy for judgment and negativity and hate speech. We are all welcome. We are all supported, no matter what your beliefs or where you live in the world or what your skin color is. And this is really, really important in order for you to feel safe, to be vulnerable and to open up and to start working through some of these deeper wounds. And of course, the right community is also really going to help you discover and honor what your unique path is, your unique path to this healthy relationship with food. And this is ultimately why I created the Sugar Freedom Collective, right? This is exactly why I noticed what was going on with communities. I noticed that there was a need, and not everyone. And I know a lot of you listening, maybe you've been here for months and you weren't able to invest in joining my last signature program that started in October. And you're looking for a way to still get coaching, still get support, still take action and start healing these inner root causes that are leading you to drive to sugar, but at a lower investment. And this is really why I created this community, so that we can come together as women without having to break the bank, to really support each other, to get coaching from me, to come together in community, to have fun, to connect, to feel connected, to feel supported, to feel really motivated and aligned and really at peace with this journey that we're on. So this is really exciting. And I'm so excited to, like I mentioned earlier, to be opening up registration for new members into this community through the waitlist until December 15th. So that's just a few days away. So sorry, not sorry for those who are listening to this after December 15th. Still come and get your name on the waitlist and you'll be the first to know when I'm launching the next way to work with me in the new year. But for now, for those who are listening to this before December 15th, definitely come and join the wait list. The link is below in the show notes. Once you get on the wait list, you're going to get an email from me immediately with the link, the exclusive VIP link that has all the information about what's included in the program and how to join, and you can then come and join us. So we're so excited to be welcoming in a new beautiful group of women here as we round up the year and really go into the most challenging time of year, right? Which in my opinion is the time we need community the most. I know, again, for those who have been following along, you know that, the last few months have been some of the hardest months in my life. And I needed community like no tomorrow. And I'm so grateful that I had that community for me to help me support my grief and the journey that I was going through, the pain that I was feeling. And I want this community to be that for you. I'm going to be that for you. So if you resonate with me and you resonate with what we're talking about here on the show and this podcast, then you're definitely going to want to come and be a part of the community and really join and see for yourself what being in the right supportive community can do and how that can actually help you heal in such a powerful way as you take the steps that you need, the bold, scary steps that you need to actually make this change stick, to finally have the right type of support that's going to actually shift the needle for you and make 2023 hopefully your healing year with sugar. So I hope that by now you're really feeling more clear and prepared to take the right steps to get this support that you need, whether it's coming and joining us in the Sugar Freedom Collective or it's something else. I really deeply hope that you take the time you need to reflect on these questions I shared today and to get clear for yourself on what you need to be successful over the next year in really making this change, so that never again do you have to get to December feeling like you are a failure, you're lost, you're confused, you're never going to make this happen for yourself, and that there must just be something wrong with you. Please, please, please don't let yourself be in that space again a year from now. You can do so much about it with the right support. And I hope to be that for you. I hope to see you and have you come and join us in the Sugar Freedom Collective. I know all the other women are excited to meet you and waiting with open arms. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode. This was a really fun one to record. This is something I'm so passionate about because I've seen in all the areas of my life, not just with my health, but with my business, with my relationships, with all these other areas of my health or my life, how much having the right people to support me monumentally shifted my ability to be successful. And it was the one thing that when I changed, from being in the wrong types of community, the wrong groups of friends, as soon as I made those shifts into hanging out with different people, creating a different support network for myself, how immediately I started getting the results that I wanted. And that's the simple truth that we're not meant to heal alone. We heal together, and we heal together with the right type of safe community and non-judgmental spaces and support and guidance. So I hope to be that for you. And if not, I hope that you find that in some area in your life, and you don't continue perpetuating this thought that there's nothing out there for you and that you must just be uniquely broken. It is so not true. You just haven't found it yet. You haven't found it yet, and I know you will. I know you can. And it's up to you whether or not you take those steps to find that. So I hope you do. And I'm so grateful for all of you tuning into this. I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you're loving what we talked about today, please remember to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone you love. And if you're ready to dive deeper into discovering your root causes and patterns that are keeping you hooked on sugar, be sure to check out our brand new free workshop series that will help you kick emotional eating for good. Find the link to download this free series and other amazing resources in the show notes below.